What I learned about life. I learned that it is the good, the bad, and the ugly that ultimately shapes us into who we are and who we become. And for me, it is the good, the bad, and the ugly that again shapes us into who we are. If it wasn't for the bad times, if it wasn't for the good times, and it wasn't for the ugly experiences, the ugly times that we have experienced within our lives, we wouldn't be who we are. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly that again shapes us into who we are. We needed those bad experiences. We need those ugly experiences. We need those good experiences, because every single thing teaches us something that we wouldn't have known, or every single thing also leads us in a direction that we wouldn't have gone to or headed towards otherwise. It is the bad experiences that brings us the most that brings us the most strength. It's some of the ugliest experiences that brings us the most wisdom. And it is some of the most good reasons or good experiences, that shows us so many reasons as to how much beauty there is out there. It gives us the ability to realize the importance of, one, keeping the faith within the process and persevering through every single thing that we had to endure through previously before we had gotten up to that good experience. I learned that, again, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly that shapes us into who we are. If it wasn't for the bad experiences, we wouldn't be who we are. If it wasn't for the ugly experiences within our lives, we wouldn't have headed towards a direction that we wouldn't have gone to. If it wasn't for the good experiences, we wouldn't have got to meet certain people. We wouldn't have got to experience certain experiences. Every single thing leads up ultimately into who we are, who we become, and more so who we are becoming. So I wanted to make this video. It's going to be awfully short, but what I'm trying to say is that we can't regret anything within our past. Again, it's the bad experiences, the good experiences. It's, to say the least, the good, the bad, and the ugly that shapes us into who we are. We can't regret anything from our past. However, we can only learn through reflection and find ways to improve our actions proceeding forward, and basically where I'm going with this is the past can hurt. There are going to be things that maybe we did, maybe we said, maybe things we didn't do, maybe things we didn't say, and there are going to be experiences that we have maybe taken for granted within that time, or maybe we didn't value as much when sometimes it feels like it's too late. And I wanted to make this video because every single thing that has happened previously from today, meaning yesterday, meaning our past, shapes us into who we are, which ultimately shapes us into who we become and who we are becoming. However, only if we learn through reflection and we choose to, and we make the decision to improve our actions proceeding forward. Learn through reflection. What did I do? What didn't I do? How can I improve those experiences? What did I do yesterday that I can improve upon today? What is it that I didn't do yesterday that I know I could do and improve in my today? Things like that is what makes up the big difference. It's not the giant leaps that we do that ultimately gets us to where we are not. It's the small steps that we take daily. It's the small efforts that we put in daily that is ultimately going to bring about some of the biggest change. What I learned about never giving up. It is adversity that brings lessons. It is lessons that bring wisdom. And it is wisdom that brings us the lessons to overcome adversity. What I learned about giving up, there has been many experiences that I have experienced and that I still do experience within my everyday life that has showed me so much. It has showed me, one, my strength. It has showed me the ability that I can get through things that I had once thought that I couldn't get through. And the thing that I learned about giving up is that if you can find the strength to persevere, if you can find the ability to, say the least, grow through what you go through, you know, you are going to overcome so many things that you had once thought that you couldn't get through. And I can assure you that it's not so much of just, I'm not going to give up. It's not so much of just you holding on. It's you finding the strength and the wisdom to persevere. If you can find the strength to break through and get through whatever it is that you are going through today, you are going to overcome so many different challenges that you didn't even know you were capable of overcoming. When you're in the midst of going through something challenging, something hard, something difficult, if you're in the midst of an uncertain time, you know, and you are in the midst of maybe an experience that you doubt that things will ever get better, things could get better. Maybe it's something with your health. You don't think your health could get better. Maybe you're undergoing something within your life that you don't think can get better. You have to find the strength not to give up. You have to find the ability to persevere and get through whatever it is that you are going through. Not just so much of with the external world, but you have to find the ability to persevere and get through a lot of the things that's going to start happening up here. Because when you are going through something challenging, something difficult, you know, yes, it is the external world, meaning the things that happened beyond us, things outside of us, like around us, you know, that does and can and will take a toll on us. But it is the things up here that ultimately shape our ability on how we overcome whatever it is that is going on around us. If you can find, again, not so much of just, I'm not going to give up. No, if you can find the strength that you're not going to give up, if you can find the wisdom and you can find the ability to overcome whatever it is that you think you can't get through, that's what's going to make the difference. Again, you can't just say, I'm not going to give up and expect change. No, you have to find a way where you make the decision, I'm not going to give up. And whatever it is that I am going through, I know it is ultimately going to lead me towards something that I wouldn't have gone to otherwise. When you can develop that mindset, that mentality, that no matter what it is I'm going through, I am going to overcome it. And whatever it is that I'm going through, I know it is ultimately going to lead me somewhere that I wouldn't have gone to otherwise. There is something that I am experiencing within this experience that is for my own good. Now, what that is, I don't know. I don't know yet. But I know that whatever it is that I'm going through, I know it is bringing me closer to where it is I am not yet. And basically, excuse me. Basically what I'm trying to say here is when you can make the decision, when you, let me rephrase that, when you can choose not to give up, you are going to overcome so many things that you didn't know you were capable of overcoming. And not only just that, but you are going to be able to reflect back from that experience that you may be undergoing now, you know, after you overcome it and get through it, you find the strength and the ability to get through and persevere what you were going through today. You are going to be able to reflect back and see how much everything has changed in a good way. There's a saying, and it goes somewhere along the lines of this. Isn't it funny how when we are in the midst of something, it seems like nothing changes? But when we look back, everything is different. What I learned about life's struggles. Every single thing that we go through, it's going to pass. If you are undergoing something challenging, if you are in the middle of something that you are struggling from, it's going to pass. Whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever it is that you are struggling with, whatever it is that you are going through, it's going to pass. But don't just take my word for it. I want you to think about something from your past that you were struggling from. Something challenging, something hard, some form of a difficulty that you had maybe once doubt that you were capable of overcoming or that you would even get through. You did overcome that experience. You did get through that experience. Whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know you, right? But I don't have to know you to know this. Is that there has been many times within your past that you had once thought you couldn't get through, and you did. So I want you to know that whatever it is that you are going through right now, you are going to overcome it. It's just a matter of when am I going to get through this rather than if I'm going to get through this. I want you to know that whatever it is that you are in the midst of going through right now, you can overcome it. You have to put in effort, though, to get you from where you are to where it is you are not. You have to try. And when you try, you must do, right? In order to try, you must do. You have to try to get through what you are going through. You have to find the strength and the ability to persevere what you were in the midst of. I learned about life struggles that no matter what it is I may be going through, it's going to pass. And my reassurance for me to know that this is going to pass is, there's a saying that I had recently come across, and it goes something along the lines of, when we are in the midst of going through something, it seems like nothing changes. However, when we reflect back, everything is different. Right? So whatever it is that you are going through, you can get through it. You will get through it. Again, but you have to put in the efforts to get through whatever it is that you are going through. Again, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever it is that you are going through, you're going to have to put in the effort to get you from where you are to where it is you are not. The thing about life struggles is it's not permanent. Times are always changing. The past is gone. The present's here. The future isn't here yet, right? But before you know it, the present is going to turn into your tomorrow, and your tomorrow is one day eventually going to become your yesterday, meaning your past. Therefore, meaning whatever it is that you are going through today, it's going to pass. You just have to find the ability to get through what you are going through. And it's not so much of just trying to hold on to just tomorrow. Because I learned that if I came up with a saying, or at least I think I did, where it's along the lines, or along the phrases, it goes like this: nothing changes if nothing changes. You cannot expect anything to be different if you are doing nothing differently. What I learned about time, there's a saying that says, everything is temporary, but don't just take my word for it. Yesterday has passed. The thing about time is, no matter what we are experiencing today, it's going to pass. There's another saying that says, this too shall pass. Tom Hanks talked about it. And every single thing that we experience and go through today is going to pass. So no matter what happens, whether it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, it is going to pass. So the thing that keeps me optimistic is that one, today is temporary. Today is going to pass. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. And whatever has happened yesterday has already happened. I can't go back and change anything from yesterday. I can't go back and change the past. And if I did have that ability to go back and change the past, I would also erase all of the wisdom within my present. So therefore, knowing that everything is temporary, I want to be transparent as possible, is that just because everything is temporary, and just because whatever it is that you experience today, it is going to pass, I am not saying be careless and be reckless. Absolutely not. You do that, you are either going to change how you could be experiencing something good today and make a turn for the worse. Don't do that. It's not worth it. If you are experiencing something hard now and you become careless and reckless, don't do that. You're going to ultimately lead down a path that you are going to regret, that you may have to live with for the remaining of your life. Don't do that. I wanted to be transparent as possible, just because I'm trying to be mindful as to two sides of people, of who may be coming across my videos, or more so this particular video. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say here is that everything in life is, I wanted to mention that to be fully transparent, because again, I don't know who this could be coming across. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. Anyhow, but the thing I learned about time is that everything is temporary. Whatever it is that you are going through, it is going to pass. This is how I look at it. Think about it like this. When there is a storm, what happens? The storm can last, depending on where you live, and where you live, you can experience a storm of up to several minutes, several very long minutes. You can experience storms for several hours. You can experience storms for several days, right? I don't know if you can experience it for weeks. I'm not sure. I don't specialize in that. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that when you were in the midst of a storm, when you experience a storm, or you come across a storm, it could feel like a forever. It could feel even 1 minute. If you were in the middle of something very tragic, it could feel that 1 minute could feel like a lifetime. It could feel like years, right? It could feel like a very, very long time. If you look through the lens of like a storm, what happens? In the midst of it, you are going to struggle. It's going to be hard. It's going to be frightening. It's depending on how severe the storm is, it could feel very doubting, again, frightening and scary, right? If you are going to make it out of this storm. However, if you look again through the thing about time, is that you could be in the midst of this storm, knowing that it is going to pass. Brighter days do lie ahead. There is calmness that's approaching. When? We don't know yet, right? You don't know yet, right? What I'm trying to say here is that when you are in the midst of something, whether it's an actual storm, I hope not, but whether it's an actual storm or whether it's the storms of life, if you can understand that everything is temporary, no matter what it is you are going through, it is going to pass. You just have to find a way to develop the strength to endure the storm, and develop if you're spiritual like me, develop the faith that is going to help you hold on, overcoming the storm. There's a saying that goes like this, and I can't remember who exactly I heard this from, but they said this, one day here. They said, the purpose of the storm, it goes something like this. The purpose of the storm is something along the lines of this. I know it's not exactly like this. something along the lines of this, excuse me. The purpose of the storm isn't to disrupt your life. The purpose of the storm is to... Perfect. It goes like this. Excuse me, I don't edit my videos. They said this. Again, I apologize. The purpose of the storm, when you enter the storm, you won't, that's how it is. When you enter the storm, you won't be the same person when you make it out of the storm. That's what the storm is all about.